Yo, what is going on today, guys? It is Sam, better known as Samito, coming back at you guys with a guide and teaching you guys everything I wish I knew about Demon Lord. The Demon Lord clan boss is the most important boss to figure out if you are an early game player or even a mid game player, even in the end game, honestly. I think Demon Lord is the most important economy boss in the game. It's going to be where you get your shards to pull champions, especially as a free-to-play player, and your tomes to actually build those champions out in an efficient way so that your account can continue to progress and get stronger and stronger. Demon Lord is the linchpin, the most essential area, in my opinion, outside of like maybe Spider Hard, to learn how to farm to get your economy going. Spider Hard being more so for accessories and primarily silver to be the engine that could. So I'm going to be teaching you guys everything I wish I knew that took my Demon Lord team from, struggling on normal, hard, brutal to one keying Ultra Nightmare and hitting about 300 million damage on one key. So let's break it down. But first, if you're a new player or looking to make an alt account, you can use my code down in the description. All you have to do to get free legendary champion Elenaril, Vergis at level 10, Tagoar at level 20, and Deacon at level 30. All you have to do is log out of Plarium Play, uninstall, on PC at least, then click the link in the description. All you have to do is register with that new email and then go check your inbox after launching raid and completing that tutorial, and then boom, you got your champions and you got your good start with some of the best epic champions and a free legendary champion as well. We love it. So shout out to Game Leap for helping out with the production of this channel, as well as Plarium for having a fun game. Okay, so let's break this down. Demon Lord, man, one of the most important things to get is the last mastery here, War Master, on any of your support champions. This will let them do a lot more damage while still fulfilling the support role on your team. 60% chance of inflicting bonus damage when attacking. Bonus is equal to 10% of the champion's max HP or 4% when attacking bosses. So that's like 80k extra damage a hit if it procs. You really want to look to get stuff like that, so either save your gems to buy the max masteries on your support champs or be willing to spend the time to actually go farm Minotaur's Labyrinth so that you can get scrolls for your champions to get that War Master mastery. That is actually a massive game changer for most champions in the game. Where is my Demon Lord team at right now? Let's take a look. I should have a key available here. All right, guys, I've already keyed my Ultra Nightmare today, so I'm going to be keying Nightmare right now. I'm going to let this run in the background, but while I talk to you guys about some of the most important things for Clan Boss, and we have this footage going in the background, I just want to explain my team just briefly to you guys. It's important that you have specific roles on your team and a specific purpose, if you will. Every team needs to be built for a purpose. It's not about what champion is necessarily good overall into Clan Boss. It's about filling the role that you need. So if you look at this team, especially when you start to get to later on in Clan Boss, I've got one nuker and he's Ninja, man. He is an absolute beast. I obviously have Mikage, who pairs very, very well with him. And then on top of that, this team is designed to go as fast as possible and get as many turns as you can. You're never going to outright kill the Clan Boss. Your goal is to get as much damage as you can as fast as possible, especially when you start to towards the end game, right? If you want to maximize your damage, the goal should be to get as many attacks in as possible, meaning turn meter boosts and increased speed are two of the cruxes that you can get on your Clan Boss team as you scale to the end. I've got Senna as my reviver and my turn meter booster, Lanicus with more turn meter boost and ally attack and buff extension, Mikage with buff extension, ally attack as well, and Rio, who brings my debuffs. We're gonna let this run while I talk to you guys about all of these things. So let's say you're starting out, right? Let's say you're starting out in Clan Boss here and you're trying to figure out what you actually need to do. Well, the easiest thing that you can look for when you're starting out in Clan Boss is actually going to be poisons, and I'll explain why. Poisons do boss max HP damage. So does HP burns, which you can see right here. If you are just starting out in the game, the gear you have and the champions you build are not going to be able to hit. As you can see, my ninja here is hitting for 400,000 damage on his A1 when he's crit capped at 100% crit rate and 300% crit damage. But if you don't have that type of gear on your account. Poisons are a great way to rack up quick damage so that you don't... Oh, my Rio is missing her banner. Oopsie daisies. Oh, well, that's fine. It's not going to matter for this team. Like, we're going to be so over the damage threshold, doesn't matter. So looking to get champions that bring poison debuffs as your damage dealers are going to carry you through the early stages of Clan Boss so that you can actually get enough damage to get the chest. Your goal with Clan Boss is to hit the damage thresholds to get the last chest on each, difficulty. If your clan kills that clan boss that day, you get 2 chests instead of just 1. So you should try to fight in the places where your clan is actually going to get you 2 chests. Your end goal is to be able to 1-key 4 separate bosses in one day. If you get to that point, you're getting the most rewards, you're getting the most shards, and the most tomes to build out your champs as quickly as possible. That needs to be your goal. So for damage dealers, generally speaking, if you can find somebody that brings poison to the table, that's going to help you a lot. What's the number 2 most important thing to bring, okay? So your poisoners to start can be your damage dealers. If you don't have a poisoner, you can look at a Clan Boss Nuker or go over to hellhades.com and see how different champs are rated in Demon Lord. Aside from that, I actually think that the second most important thing you have to bring isn't actually increased speed, though it would be a close one. I would say the next most important thing that you need to bring is a decrease defense or decrease attack champion, okay? A debuffer. The 2 buffs you want to look for are decrease attack and decrease defense, like I said. The weaken's a nice addition if you can get the weaken as well, but it's not a necessity, especially as you progress, right? The main reason you want a 50% decrease attack on the boss is because that's going to make your team survive fatal hits for about twice as long, like 50% longer. Say that, because how the Demon Lord goes, his damage escalates over time. We can pull this up right now, and actually, I'll tell you what, we can probably run this at 2x because we're going to be chilling for a while. So, starting from the 20th turn, damage is increased by a greater amount. Starting from the 50th turn, all attacks will ignore block damage and unkillable buffs. So, after 20 turns of the boss, his damage is going to get more and more and more. So, being able to decrease his attack by 50% means that he won't get to a point where he can one-shot your team very quickly at all. Like, that time comes much later, giving you more time and your champions more turns to get the damage you need to actually get the 1-key or get to the chests that you need that have better loot towards the end of that difficult. Decrease attack is probably the most essential buff to do that. Now, if you have a nuker that's based on actual attack and you're not relying on poisons to do damage, that's when you really want to bring somebody that has decreased defense to the table. Because if you bring that to the table, then again, your nukers are going to do way more, especially if you can find a way to get weakened. So the number 1 debuff that you want on your team is decrease attack, and it needs to land consistently. You want decrease attack on the boss 24/7. On top of that, increased defense in tandem with decreased attack on the boss is going to scale you even further into the fight, because now you're decreasing the boss's attack by 50% and increasing your defense by 60%, meaning you've effectively swayed the base stat lines of your team and the clan boss by like 110%. If you think about it, I'm not sure how the exact numbers line up, but you guys get what I mean, and that's just kind of how it goes here, right? So that is another essential debuff, I would say, or a buff for your team, is increase defense and increase attack to help your champions go up. Those are all essential buffs. I would say outside of that, increased speed, because you can't place decreased speed on the boss, is equally as important, okay? Increased speed is going to amp all of your champions' speed by 30%. You want to get to the point where, one, like all of your champions, if you want to really push a difficulty, must be faster than the clan boss. At Ultra Nightmare, I think the clan boss's base speed is 190. Speed is king in this game, and if you're able to cycle around turns faster than the clan boss can, right? Turn meter boost or increase speed, what you can do is get around to all your survivability cooldowns, your increased defenses, your decreased attacks, right? So that you can maintain 100% time on those abilities. I did not know this at the time. I didn't realize just how good speed was. And if I had built my champs all for speed and stopped trying to get the extra bit of survivability, but actually built them fast enough to consistently get around to their cooldowns, get my revivers all the way around, get my my debuffers all the way around. Essentially, you only really need one damage dealer when you get to the very end, and then you can build a support caster built around keeping that damage booster or damage dealer alive and boosting him quickly to all of his turns. As you can see, that's what Senna does and Lanicus does, is I'm just boosting so much that I'm cutting in front of the boss, right? Look at this. Look at how many turns I get because my turn meters are instantly getting filled, right? And like I'm just cutting in line in front of the boss. This is very, very end game stuff, so you guys don't have to worry about that. But on top of that, making sure that you're fast enough to get around to your turns, keep your debuffs up, keep your reser alive, and cycle back to your res if your main damage dealer is dying is going to exponentially increase your damage and let you push the later game difficulties. Another niche strategy that I like a lot, ally protection. I'm not running it on this team, but the key thing with ally protection is that each champion fills a specific role, right? What you can do is you can build a champion that has ally protection on your team. Somebody like an Ursuga, somebody like a Taragi for early game players, right? Who essentially puts ally protect on all of your allies. You can, which is the best damage mitigation ability in the game. 50% of the damage that goes onto your nuker will then go to another champion. That allows you to build your nuker in all-out attack and damage while building your tank to absorb and soak all that damage. A regen set to heal, or just in general, way tankier abilities so that they can both be exceptional at the thing that they're good at. You don't want your champs to be jacks of all trades. You want them to be the master of what they do. In Ninja's case, he is all out damage. Damage. In, I guess Senna's case, she's fast and is designed to get extra turns in the Relentless set, right? That's kind of what makes her good. You want to get her the extra turns. So if I had an anchor in here like my Ursuga, who I used for a long time, she is built in all-out defense and HP. She is there to soak up hits for my squad, and that is what she does, and she does it so well. So building these champs to their specialties and having, your anchor be there, your debuffer be there, your nuker be there, your turn meter booster, or your reser. You need to understand, what am I going to put this champion in to do? And it's not necessarily about which champ is the best overall champ for Clan Boss. It's about what champion fits the best role that I need for my existing team. There are plenty of times where, like, look, I have a lot of champions better than Lanicus the Chosen here. A lot, right? She's solid and she's sleeper, but I've got a lot of champs who are better. However, in this specific team that's built around having Senna turn meter boost everyone, and my Mikage ally attacking with my ninja, Rio being my debuffer, she brings every debuff that I need on one champion. Lanicus actually goes better with this team than any other champ I have in the game because she brings buff extension, another super critical buff or effect that you can bring to your team is buff extension, okay? Because if you get an increased speed and continuous heals on a 3-turn cooldown and they last for 2 turns and you bring a buff extender on your team, well, now you have 100% uptime on the buffs on yourself. So I have 2 buff extenders on this team in Mikage and Lanicus, so I'm having all these buffs up 24/7. That's why she synergizes so well. It's weird that actually, okay, the cleanse came out there. It's weird that this synergizes so well as a team. You really love to see that, right? I love to see that too. It helps my team do so much together. So I love that. So it's about filling the right role on your team. So you want to have generally a nuker, a debuffer. If you can get an ally protector, great. If you don't have one, that's fine. Okay. A reser, and then either another damage dealer or some kind of support champ. Ideally, you have champions that bring multiple things to the table. Again, for example, Rio is bringing all my debuffs and my cleanse. So I don't need any other debuffer, which means I can build the rest of this team to just all out do damage or enable damage. 2 ally attackers here and buff extenders with Lanicus and Mikage. Senna, gonna have her turn meter boost up 24/7. She's my reser and my turn meter booster. And then Ninja is all of my damage. You have to understand the roles that each champion brings and then ask yourself the question, how can I better enable these champions and this team to do the most it possibly can. So yeah, though that is the basics of Clan Boss. Those are the things that you really need to look to do. I know that was a long, lengthy explanation, but I'm going to come back to you guys at the end of this key and we can do a damage breakdown and then wrap this bad boy. All right, guys, so we're wrapping this one up. For whatever reason, he targets my Senna with his A1. This would be a 400 million damage key, but I just trolled it, to be honest. Like, I just need to figure out why Senna is getting targeted first. Mikage's getting so... Jesus, Mikage! Oh my goodness, but yeah... I mean, you can see this breakdown, right? Almost all of my damage is coming from one champion. It's coming from Ninja. I guess, yeah, you can see them all. Lanicus and Lady Mikage also have theirs. But yeah, guys, that is my new Clan Boss team. That's how I went from struggling in Nightmare and Brutal and Normal and all those to one keying Ultra Nightmare easily. And now, when I fix that issue with my Senna being targeted first, or honestly, I might swap Lanicus out and put in another Rezer or, you know, continuous heal chip. I wonder who I have. I'll take a look. We can filter right now and take a look. Who do we have that brings, you know, continuous heals and res, if possible? Who do we have? Little or big continuous heals? Oh, both of them. Okay, just big continuous heals. Do I have another res? Duchess, as it comes to mind. Rector's Wrath actually could be another one to bring the Veil for damage reduction. I could also bring in Calder and go for even more damage. We'll see. I've got a lot of options here, guys, but I think Duchess is probably the best option we have outside of Lanicus. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys coming. See y'all next time. Take care. Much love. Hit that sub button if you're new. Peace out.